Welcome to another episode of Phillip Trading Podcast. My name is William and our speaker today is Trent from Phillip Futures. So for those that are watching this podcast, feel free to share this section with all your friends on Facebook to let them know about the trading team or opportunities for the week. So Trent, how have you been?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm excited to be back here.
Yeah, good to hear that. So the prices of precious metal, right, has been on a very strong recovery since early this month. So based on your opinion, what are the fundamentals behind this strong recovery of gold and silver since the beginning of the month?
Okay, so basically, right, the strong recovery in precious metals such as gold and silver are actually mainly driven by a few reasons. One of them is the rising inflation expectation in US, and the second one is the Federal Reserve pledged to keep rates low for a longer period, which has revived interest in gold. Particularly, we see a rebound in the holdings of bullion-backed exchange-traded funds, ETF, in the US. Initially, the US policymakers have signaled their intent to maintain an accommodative stance for a prolonged period, but had recently indicated in the Federal Reserve latest April meeting that there is a possibility of scaling back on asset purchases. So if the Federal Reserve starts tapering, we will likely to see gold prices to turn downtrend. However, for silver, right, it's a different case. It might be slightly different when the Fed starts its tapering. Due to industrial demand of silver in the manufacturing sector, we will likely see a weaker dip in silver prices.
Okay, so the second question here will be related to the US dollar. So US dollar index is currently hovering at about 89 to 90 level mark, which has a very, very strong support here because this support has been supporting for years, okay? And a lot of people in the market actually, they do think that this level will hold and is the opportunity for US dollar to rebound is very high. So do you think that for gold and silver, can they continue their upward momentum if US dollar really rebound?
Okay, so historically speaking, right, the US dollar index has a negative correlation against most of the commodities prices. Hence, if the US dollar index turns up trend, we may see weaker prices in gold and silver. However, to see a change in the trend of US dollar, there needs to be a very strong catalyst or a shift in fundamentals. Currently, in my opinion, there's no such catalyst, but it may happen further in the future when the Fed starts to tighten the monetary policy.
Okay, so generally speaking, you reckon that if US index dollar turns upward, the gold might soften a little bit lah.
Yep, correct.
Okay. So now the third question here is, how do you correlate inflation with precious metal? Because currently the macro environment that we are seeing is that most commodities is trading at its 10 years high, which means that inflation might be at 10 years high as well. So do you think that precious metal will perform if inflation continue to go up in the second half of 2021?
Okay, so from the economic standpoint, right, the higher prices of precious metals are usually associated with higher inflation. This is due to the limited supply of precious metals, which makes precious metals a form of hedge against inflation. So when inflation increases, it means the value of paper currency reduces, it goes a different way, and hence leading to a stronger prices of precious metals. But based on the latest data, the headline inflation rate in US is currently stands at 4.2%, while the core inflation is 3%. If this rate continues to rise further and maintain consistently high, we may see stronger prices of precious metals or may even see these prices breaking all-time high. However, this kind of situation can hurt consumers and also the economy if prolonged and may trigger the Federal Reserve to intervene to bring back inflation down by raising interest rates.
Okay, so generally speaking, if the inflation is going to go up, precious metal is going to go up. All right. Okay, one last question, Trent. So in your opinion, which product of the precious metal will have a better return, gold or silver, and why?
Okay, so for this question, right, based on the current economic condition of which inflation is increasing and also the economy is steadily recovering at the same time. So I would say silver would be a more rewarding to investor as there are two drivers. supporting the rise of silver prices. One is the hedge against inflation, and also two is the industrial demand of silver. In contrast, the industrial application of gold are not as extensive as silver, and hence mainly only used as a form of hedge against inflation. And on the other hand, from the technical perspective, silver price has a stronger uptrend and is currently trading close to 1-year high at $29, whereas the gold prices had recovered in the past months, but is still far away from its 1-year high of $2,070.
All right. So overall, you reckon that silver will be a better product for investors to invest right now. All right.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Last but not least, if you are interested to find out how you can trade gold or silver, we have micro gold and also micro silver, where the contract size is relatively small and margin is very affordable. Okay, feel free to drop us a message via Facebook, and we will try to get back to you as soon as possible. Okay, and thank you, Trent, for your sharing today, and see you probably next week.
Okay, thank you. Bye bye.
Okay, thank you. Bye bye.